What's up, guys? It's Mr. Janvet, and today we are back, not quite on the Pokemon Showdown server. This is something different. I know many of you guys are at certain places. Many of you guys are newer, and so, and some of you guys are more experienced, but want to learn what you're missing to get to that next level. Meaning, winning tournaments and just really being one of the best. You're playing because you're competitive and you want to be the best. And so I've learned a thing or two about helping people get to that point. Countless amount of people who have been tournament winners that I've trained, as well as people who just wanted to get to top 100. And so if any of those sound interesting to you, or you just like winning period, then this is something you want to pay attention to. So I'm not by myself today. I'm here with somebody that I am currently training. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that for the book that I wrote, I'm big on actual tested material, not just some theory that I pull out my behind. So I am big on when I have an observation, I document it, and then I test it to see if what I think is happening is what's actually happening. What that looks like is I say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. And when people do this, this, and this, do they get the result that they want? If they do every time, then I write that down. Okay, there's something to that. And then that's essentially how you create a book, mapping out how you get from a green, player who's never done anything to being one of the top players. And so, saying all that to say, there's now something even further than that, where you're going to actually learn this for free, but also see somebody do it, so you can actually see and follow, maybe I'm not doing something, and you can see them succeed and fail, and then try and implement the very thing that they're implementing in your own game and start getting way, way better results. Because who doesn't want better results, right? And so here's an introduction to Ninjak. He is a newer player to the scene, and he also has a channel where he's literally recording the entire journey, something that has never been done before. I've had people that I've trained, but you guys don't get to actually see them play the game. You just kind of hear the updates. Oh, I broke this, broke this, and I broke this. But you don't actually see them playing and implementing the process. So now there's a person you can actually watch. Very great content over there. I wouldn't have sent you there otherwise. Excuse me. And so I'm going to have him introduce himself briefly and let you know what his vision is and why he even reached out to begin with. So just give them a rundown of who you are and how you found me and got to this place to begin with.
Yeah, so hey everybody, like you said, my name's Ninjak, and I found Jambat through a coworker. Actually, I just recently graduated from NC State University, started a job, and my coworker started a draft league just within friends. And he quickly put together that I liked Pokemon, so I joined the league, and for my birthday, he surprised me with The Art of Competitive Pokemon by your host himself.
It's crazy, yeah.
And I'd never heard of him before, or that's not true. He also put me onto the Duncan Can't Die series that he did with you, and then he got me the book, and I was like, wait, there's a book? And I'm reading this book, and I got super pumped. At the time, I wasn't playing OU Showdown or whatever, so I started applying it to League of Legends, actually, and had a ton of success. And I thought, you know what? This is working in something that it wasn't even strictly written for. I'm going to apply it to Pokemon. So I started a channel. My goal is to hit #1 on the OU ladder right now, and I'm just sticking to the process, following the book, and now following his teaching directly because I was so pumped. I was like, I've got to work with this guy. So I reached out, and yeah, we started a series where I'm trying to record every single step of the way so you guys can see me doing it on my own, not just with Jambat.
Perfect. And so, guys, as I said, nothing like this has ever been done before. We've already put out 2 episodes, so it's definitely something you want to watch. Particularly if this is the closest thing you will ever get if you can't work with me directly to working with me, because you're essentially learning what I would have told you to somebody else. You're literally just watching it. So, obviously with different people, there's slightly different tweaks, right? And so I'll kind of address that in the video, where you're saying like, Jack's starting point is not the same as maybe your starting point. Maybe you have a horrible mindset, and that's where we need to work first. And maybe Jack didn't, or maybe he had far less than the average, or maybe he had far worse. Like, so, there's always working one-on-one is always going to be best, but the next best thing you can ever get, and this is like he's taking something he's paying for and then sharing with you for free, and I'm allowing him to share it for free. Again, there's literally no excuse anymore to not be good. Like, there's literally, if you suck, it's because you want to suck, period. And so what I'm going to be doing in this one is just kind of an introduction to that, and giving you the opportunity to go check that out. Ideally get him to his first 100 subscribers, or maybe his first 1,000. But also, in the previous episode, we went over a few things, and I'm going to run through the things we've gone through with you guys, and then I'm going to have him play a game. And so it's sort of like an additional training to in addition like to what he has on his own channel. But my main goal is to expose you guys to that information, because since he's a newer channel, like, a lot of you guys might value this information and just don't know where to find it. And so now you know. And then we'll be doing this ideally till he gets to number 1, and you can literally see like, oh my god, like, this guy was completely new, 1100, and he got to number 1 in blank amount of time. And so yeah, to kind of recap and to show, I think it'd be better if you answered instead of me just regurgitating, and also reinforce and have me clarify what versus what you may be misinterpreting. The first thing I always emphasize is losing is good, right? It's the first thing. Because that's probably the most important thing for a player to learn. Losing is good. And so many always listen and like, oh man, losing is good, that's some BS, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And I find that when people don't understand or agree with a thing, they rather assert their own opinion versus ask why the other person thinks that way. And so the example I use is, if you said the sky is blue and I say it's green. No, let's say you said the sky is blue, but I believe the sky is green. Instead of me asking you why the sky is blue, which would help me learn a lot more, and we could actually get to the truth, I then say to you, no, the sky is green. And so that doesn't get me anywhere, because now I don't understand why you think it's blue. I just rather assert what I think. And so a lot of people, when they hear something that conflicts with what they previously believed, that's how they approach it. Nope, you're wrong. And the problem with that is, if you're not getting the results you want in any area of your life, then it's probably because you don't know some things. But if you approach things as a know-it-all, then you'll never change, and you'll likely, until you get burned enough to where you want to change, you'll likely just go through your life failing and not getting the things you want. And I don't want that for you. Y'all know that. Y'all been watching me for a while. And so hopefully I'm breaking you down bit by bit to where you're like, maybe I don't know everything. And you can join the countless numbers of people who have been improving their lives offline using the same stuff we learned in Pokemon. And so back to losing is good. From your understanding and your experiences thus far, when you heard losing is good, what was the initial reaction, and what is your belief and understanding of it now?
So initially, I was, we'll say, an understanding skeptic. I was like, all right, I think I know where he's going with this. You
Mm-hmm.
can learn from your mistakes. Okay, I get it. Losing's good.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just lose all the time, I ain't ever going to climb anywhere, and that doesn't make me good. So, I was like, yeah, I think I see what angle he's playing, but I don't know if I buy this.
Right.
But now I've come to understand it's not losing is the goal. It's losing is good. And there's a difference there where when you properly make your goal, losing becomes a good thing. If your goal is like, let's say winning for winning's sake. You just want to win, you just want to win. Well, you might as well not start the thing because you're never going to have a 100% win rate like ever. So if that's your pure goal, then there's no point. You're not going to achieve it. But now I understand when you make the goal to improve and get better, and through that, like you can still have a goal of I don't want to lose very often.
Right.
But the goal isn't not losing. The goal is improving and getting better. And in that goal, losing becomes a good thing because it becomes a tool you can use to learn and get better. And the way I view it now, I've talked to you some about this and had it on my channel. It's like an investment to me, like in Pokemon specifically. I'm like, okay, I've given you points for losing, but I'm really just paying you for the opportunity to learn what you must have known to beat me that I didn't know. So by paying you for that, I'm still advancing towards my goal. So it's a good thing. And then I view it as an investment because I'm like, all right, with those lessons, I will get those points back with interest in the future. So that's kind of been the evolution of my understanding of losing is good from, I think he's pulling an angle here to, no, my goal was wrong before. Really, losing is good when you're a true competitor and your goal is to get better.
Exactly. And something I see often, the misconception is that if losing is good, winning is bad. If winning is good, losing is bad, which is not true, right? If you think about I don't know where the assumption is that it has to be a complete opposite, right? Both of them can be good. Both of them, one doesn't exist without the other. So for you to be the best, you have to lose a lot. And if you perceive losing a lot as a bad thing, then you won't. Who wants to continually invest into a bad thing? And so if you believe losing is bad, you don't want to lose. And if you don't want to lose, but you also want to get good, then you can't play. Because you can't have one without the other. And that's the illusion. You think you can have one without the other. And so if you're losing a lot, you then take that as evidence that you'll never get to your goal. But the biggest click, and I'm hoping at least one person this clicks for, whether it be in Pokemon or offline, every result is contributing to your goal. Everyone. So winning and losing are contributing to your goal. And so another way to look at it that I was explaining to somebody earlier today, actually a client, I was saying to him, view losing as a gift that your opponent gave to you. So there are things you don't know that you need to know to become the best. When an opponent beats you, they give you the gift of that lesson. Sort of like what Jack was saying about the investment. When you beat somebody else, you gave them the gift of that lesson. So you're not even doing something bad for someone when you beat them. You're doing them a favor. But what's interesting that a lot of people don't consider is, hey, Jack, let me ask you this. Let's say right now I could snap my finger and you're the best OU player, which is your goal, right? You're the best. But no journey, no nothing. Literally just snap my finger right now. But you're also so much the best that nobody ever can beat you. How much more longer do you think you'd play?
I think it'd be very entertaining for a couple days, maybe a week, but then I think it would get pretty boring pretty quickly.
Okay, so if that's true, what do you think is that? What are you truly after then? Since it's technically, you think it's just to win all the time, but I just gave you the opportunity that you'd never lose and you're far better than everybody else. So that means your goal is not to win all the time. Your goal is to win most of the time, but also the risk of losing is inherent in why you're having fun. There's a chance you might not win. that is inherent in having fun in anything. And so a lot of times when people are pursuing their goals, they think they just want to be able to infinitely win and never lose. Extreme, right? But then you get bored. So your goal is not to win. Your goal is to win plus risk losing. The risk is what makes it like, oh man, this guy's really good. And so to come back to losing is a gift. If Jack and I are playing, and so, I beat him, so I gift him a loss. Now he has to go back and learn why he lost, or, whatever lessons he gained from that. Let's say I'm beating him 10 times out of 10. I beat him. Then he sneaks one from me. So it's now 9 times out of 10. Then it turns into 8 times out of 10. Now it's 5-5, right? Half the time he beats me, half the time I beat him. What people don't realize is eventually, because Jack is losing and using the losses as lessons, he eventually beats me 6 times out of 10, then 7 times, and now I'm winning less. And so since I'm winning less, he's gifting me losses. Now I got to make a decision. Do I just say give up? Which that's never what a true competitor does, right? Do I just give up and say, he's better than me now? Oh my goodness, woe is me. Let me find another thing to get good at because I'm just a loser now. No, most competitors will go, thank you for the gifts of the losses. Now, him getting better forces me to get better. And now I switch it back. And I'm beating him 8 times out of 10. Now he's going to have to get better and beat me 8. And so when that interaction happens with thousands and thousands of players and we're beating each other, we're literally collectively making everybody better. Because you beating me forces me, because I want to win, to have to get better. But if it was just always winning, I wouldn't have any incentive to get better. I'm already the best. And so that's inherent in competition. It makes us better. So it's not like losing is this horrible thing that means I'll never get good. It's literally contributing to why you'll be the best.
Yeah.
Literally, not figuratively. The only time it doesn't is if you quit and say, oh man, I lost, no, and you escape in whatever you escape into and quit. Then you're a loser. That is what an actual loser is. But anything else is just part of the process. And so that was the first thing. Losing is good. And so the next thing we talked about, let's talk about value first. Where's value in the 3 actions? What's your understanding of that?
Yeah, so value is this concept of, a lot of times we ascribe numbers or points to it, that this concept that both teams are ultimately trying to reduce the opponent's value to 0 while not letting their value fall to 0. Mm-hmm. So it's to make them fall to 0 first. Mm-hmm. And so this concept of value is that, like, it's not like it's the bare bones of the thing. It's the building blocks. It's not Landorus versus Rillaboom. It's you got a Mon, I got a Mon, and I want to reduce your Mon's value to 0 without letting mine lose its value. Mm-hmm. So it's this big picture concept. And then the 3 actions are the ways, literally the only 3 things you can do every single turn towards that goal of reducing your opponent's value to 0 before yours falls to 0. You can attack, which is like, let me just straight up take value. I'm going to just try and put some damage on your Mon, which is going to reduce its health, which is a form of reducing value. You can defend, which is trying to either restore value that you have already lost or prevent yourself from losing value that you might have lost.
Give some examples of what you're talking about so that they can actually visualize it.
Yeah, so like in the attack case, let's say you've got a choice band Rillaboom and you're clicking Grassy Glide. That's an attack. You are doing damage to the opponent. I think a lot of us kind of understand that one inherently. But let's say you've got a Rillaboom that, let's say it's got like Sub, Protect, and I don't know, Swords Dance, Drain Punch. So if you click Sub, that's a form of defense. You're not directly attacking your opponent. You are putting something in front of you to prevent them from taking value from your Rillaboom. Same goes with Protect. You're blocking the move they're doing. It's a defensive measure. You're not hurting them through it. You are just trying to not get hurt yourself. And then the final of the 3 actions is you can switch. If you don't like your matchup, you determine that your opponent can take more value from you than you can take from them. You can switch to try to mitigate value loss, to try to position yourself to take a lot of value. But you use switching ideally when you want to maximize the value that you can either defend for yourself or attack from them.
And so in English, because somebody may be like, this is blowing my mind. Essentially is you can't, when you're going into a battle, you click find battle, all you're trying to do is beat the opponent before they beat you. How do you beat the opponent before they beat you? You kill all 6 of their Pokemon before they kill all 6 of yours. How do you kill all 6? You take all of their value. How do you take their value? You use the 3 actions to do that. You attack, switch, and defend correctly. Now, then it brings, how do you know when to attack, switch, and defend correctly? And then that introduces the 3 pillars. And so what's your understanding of the 3 pillars?
So the 3 pillars, just at a high level, are knowledge, skill, and awareness. And these are essentially pillars. What do pillars do? They support something. These are the building blocks, the supporting beams of your abilities in Pokemon. So knowledge is how much do you know about a particular metagame, or how much do you know about the things you're facing. So if you go into OU, and let's say you play on OU for a year, just by playing, your knowledge is going to increase because you're going to learn, oh wow, I see a ton of Landorus's. This thing's all over the place. And so you start to learn what moves Landorus has or what abilities it has. So that's knowledge, understanding the environment that you're in. Because if you switch to a different tier, your knowledge is going to go back to 0 until you learn that tier. Skill is, it's like your way, it's how you function with that knowledge, I guess. Okay, so I know, let's say you know that Heatran can beat Rillaboom with Magma Storm. Let's say you know that. Skill is actually clicking Magma Storm on a Rillaboom, or actually using that knowledge to take value. Because you can know stuff without doing anything about it. Because you're in the moment, you're like, oh, I know this is a problem, but you just don't do what's necessary. And then awareness is probably one of the trickier ones to work on. And my understanding is this is the one you develop last most of the time, or it tends to lag behind the other 2. Awareness is what it is. It's literally realizing what's going on. So let's say you know that Magma Storm beats Rillaboom, you've got your Heatran in, but it just does not even occur to you in the moment, and you switch. That's a lack of awareness. And to give a more, you're probably sitting there thinking, how is that even possible? Like, that sounds so ridiculous. First of all, watch your own games. You'll realize you do this. And I'll give you an example from me. In my most recent episode with Jamvad, I had a Landorus against a Quagsire, and the Quagsire had used Yawn. So I knew that I was about to fall asleep. I had the move U-turn, and I know that I have the move U-turn, and that I can U-turn and get out. I hard switched. I knew that I had U-turn, and I knew that U-turn was the better play, but I lacked awareness in that moment. It did not even cross my mind to U-turn to get out of falling asleep from Yawn, and instead I hard switched and gave up a little bit of free chip, and gave my opponent the chance to essentially, if I had U-turned and they swapped hard, I could have seen what they had gone to, and then pivoted better. So awareness is actually recognizing, hey, now is the time to act.
And that's pretty well said. I know skill is basically, because all you're doing with the 3 actions are solving problems. So how do you solve the Rillaboom problem? I magma storm it. Continuing with your example. So skill is how do you solve the problem, and to break it down even further, is knowing what to do and when to do it. Okay, I know to magma storm the Rillaboom. Do I magma storm it now, or do I magma storm it, or do I switch now? It's that how do I solve this Rillaboom problem? That's what skill is, and so Jack was spot on, and I really wanted two reasons I'm having you explain it. One, I want to see if your understandings are clear. Do I need to clarify anything? But so far it's been perfect. But also, how long have you been playing? How long have we been working together?
We've been working together a month, not even.
No, it hasn't been a month. No way it's been. I think it was the 21st or the 22nd something of May.
So just like a few weeks, really.
Few weeks. And so somebody hearing this, and this is stuff we went over the first session. So this isn't even what he knows now. This is first session stuff.
Yeah.
And so literally within the first week, he was able to understand this stuff and learn this stuff. And so I'm saying that to say this is not some complicated, oh man, I'll never get it type of stuff. Like, it's very broken down. Now that we understand what we went over in the first episode, what was your mission when you started the training? Your first mission or first thing you needed to focus on as you were growing, and tell them where you were coming from.
Yeah. So when we finished the first session, Janvad gave me 2 things to do, and that was it. I was not supposed to do anything else but these 2 things. After every battle, part of that was download the replay, and I was supposed to ask myself, what did I do well, and what did I learn? And that was it. You might notice that excludes what did I do wrong. That was purposeful. It was what did I do well, and what did I learn? And I was about, at that time, I had already been watching Janvad. You guys heard me say I had his book. I think I was like 1400s at the time when I first came to him, or somewhere around there. So very, very new still. And those were my 2 tasks. That was just what did I do well, what did I learn? Every single battle, every time I would download the replay, what did I do well, what did I learn? What did I do well? That's all I did. Literally it. It's not complicated. Like, he didn't start out like, I want you to figure out the 8-turn way that you would beat a Toxapex in this crazy scenario.
Okay. And so what did you notice your results? Like, what as a result of that? Firstly, what were you thinking when I said something like that, right? It's like, oh, well, I understood you, but at that point you had trusted the process. But, like, were there times where, like, be very real about that, right? Because,
sure.
Like, were there times where you're like, man, I need more, or like, go ahead.
So I'll be straight. I finished that and was like, man, he thinks I don't already know this stuff. And I'm like, man, I saw his video with Duncan, but I was like, you know what, Jack? Like, you're paying for this. Why would you pay and not use it? Let's just, you do trust this guy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'll just start doing this, and I'll prove that I'll get super high really quick. We'll have to move on. Mm-hmm. Well, I started doing it, and I did start climbing. Well, at first I kind of went down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, yo, Janvad, I hit 1500, like, all-time peak. And he was like, oh, that's hype, man. Like, he's like, I bet you can get further. And in my head, I'm like, oh, man, I thought I was ready for the next lesson, and now he wants me to do this even longer. and so I was like, all right, whatever. So I started doing it some more, and then I'm like, I hit 1600. I am a god. And I'm like all excited. And then like 3 days later, I chatted him privately. This one I was less proud of. I was like, yo, I just fell all the way back to like mid 1400s. Mm-hmm. And he was like, like, I'm actually glad you tilted. Like, this is good. And what I realized looking back, and I really tried to hammer this home in the second video / like in some of the comments I wrote for it, not the description, I mean. Mm-hmm. I thought, oh, I don't need this easy stuff, these 2 simple things. Like, I'm already past that. And I had watched all his videos. I had a great mentality. I think you can attest to that. It's not that I had a bad mentality.
Nah, one of the best I've seen. Yep.
And then I realized after the second one, there's no way I would have done the next step unless I had spent this long in the first step. No way. You knew what you were talking about. Even though I thought I knew some stuff, that tilt train back to 1450 taught me, no, you don't know stuff. Yeah, you learned a lot and you did well for a while, but if you stop doing what got you there in the first place, you're just going to lose it.
Mm-hmm. And what was that experience like as you went from 16 or maybe 20 something to pretty almost back where you started? What was that experience like?
It was I work really hard at my mentality, but I'll be very honest. It was extremely frustrating, and doubly so because I was streaming while I did it.
So everybody saw your failure.
Everybody is watching me. Y'all, I counted later. I lost 8 games in a row. And these weren't even like I don't forfeit real early. Like I fight as long and hard as I can. I draw it out. I lost 8 in a row. I think I was like 9-1 for that day. And it was frustrating because everybody watched it. But I was at the end of it, I was like, all right, first of all, I need to take a day and just reset my mind because that was not good. I am tilted. I didn't want to admit it, but I am. So I just need to be honest with myself. And I was like, I got to go back to him and be like, bro, what just happened? How do I stop this?
And what did we discuss, which is what the second video was about?
Yeah, so the trick is to not deviate from what got you there in the first place. You talked about, I started doing really well. I hit 1,600. I'd never been there before. And so I started thinking, okay, I'm a 1,600 player now. I started identifying with that. Well, I was feeling so confident about my 1,600 status. Yeah, I was kind of asking myself, what did I do well? What did I learn? But really, I was thinking like, nah, I'm a 1,600 player. This guy's 1,450. Like, I can't count this game. This is a fluke. He got lucky. Hacks. But the trick is don't ditch the thing that got you the success in the first place. Those building blocks don't go away. You don't stop asking yourself those questions. It's a foundation for a reason. You don't build a foundation and then build the house next to it. The house ain't gonna stand.
Right.
You got to build on the foundation that you laid. Don't leave it.
And then what happened when you did?
I've started to climb right back up. I'm like mid 1500s again. And I've realized too. First of all, 1,500 is still an accomplishment. Like 3 weeks ago,
right?
I couldn't get to 1,500.
Right. It's a big
So
one.
this is still an achievement for me. And you gave the money analogy. It's like you made 10K in a month, then the next month you make 100K, but the third month you make 20K, and you feel like, oh, what happened? But you're still making double what you did in the first month.
Right.
Like I had all these points, but I no longer appreciated them, I guess, because I was like, oh, well, I hit 1,600 once, and then I left my foundation, and I forgot everything and instantly tilted.
Yep. And I was actually, this is so common that it's laughable, which is actually why I'm doing a second book, right? I think I had no idea what I didn't know. And so in writing I'm getting an echo a bit. Do you, hold on. Hello. Okay, it's gone now. In writing the first book, I focused very much on what to do. Like heavily so, like skill set. I mean, I had the mindset part, but so much skill set. Like you need, as long as they know what to do, I'm gonna give them everything as far as what they need to do. And then I realized, like, people aren't doing shit, and so I had to find out why. And then that's when all these patterns started to emerge. And when I started to become aware, because now the skill and awareness, I've come to realize, is universal. When I became aware, awareness came first, but I had no knowledge of why. And I know it's happening, I'm observing it, but I have no idea why. So that's when I do the actual reading of books, research, and studying and blah blah blah. Because you're the avatar. Like there is no separation between. This isn't something you just do in Pokemon. So I had to understand, why do people do this? And then I, in digging, found that out. Brought back how they solve it offline, meaning in non-related to gaming. And then brought those same solutions in gaming, and then it fixed it. And it made sense, which is a huge thing, right? It's one thing if I say blah, 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 and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's like, when it really started clicking is when I described something a person was doing without them telling me. And they're like, what? Like, how could you know that I was doing that? One common one is when people break their peaks, and there are going to be a couple people listening to this who will be like, God damn it. But when people tend to hit their peak, they stop playing. Or if they used to play 10 games a day, they start playing maybe 1 or 2. And why do you think that is from what you've learned?
My guess would be it's kind of a defense mechanism of, well, I've gotten this far. Mm-hmm. If I don't play many games, I can't tilt all the way back down, so I'll hold it for longer. Mm-hmm. And I'm basically, you're setting yourself up for failure in your own eyes less, because you don't want to fail when you're at the top of your game, you feel like. Mm-hmm. And if you play a bunch of battles, you're going to fail more often than if you play only a few. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a defense mechanism for our own self-esteems mm-hmm. that are frankly getting in the way of us improving past our peak, past the peak that's right now.
Boom. Perfect. And I'm glad you're able to explain that, because my goal is not for whenever something happens, you have to come to me to figure it out. Like, I want everybody to be able to understand what the hell is going on so they can diagnose themselves, which is pretty common within the academy. Like, this information is becoming pretty, because it's like, oh shit, this happens to everybody. So you can literally see it around. And so mm-hmm. there are people who are able to then say to people without me being there, oh, it's because of this, right? And so, right. Because I've been through that too. And, Jam told me and blah, and then it fixed it. And so I know how to teach somebody else. So what I want to eventually have happen is this is common knowledge within the entire gaming community on Earth. So yeah. That's my mission with all this. And I'm working on something that will get me there, or get us closer to that. But going back to how well you answered that, you're dead on. And one of the reasons you get that is because you've done it. It's like, I've done that. I know what you're talking about because I did the same thing last week, right? So when that happens, people's brain go in preservation mode. Like, if you want to think about it in more of a where there's quote unquote stake, it's sort of like if you came up on the 100,000, you could take 50 of it. Let's say you made $10,000 every month, consistently. Now you've made 100,000, right? So you made 10 times what you usually made. Now you have an opportunity to take $50,000 of your money. That $50,000 could earn you 700,000. Or five. Let's keep it in the same 5. It could earn you 500,000. So it could earn you 5 times as much as you could ever make. But you've 5 times as much as you've ever made. But you're like, oh no, I'm not risking my 50,000. Because now your goal is not to win, but to not lose. So there are 2 goals happening there. You think you want to win, but your goal is really to not lose what you got.
Yeah.
But what you're failing to realize is your goal was never to get 100,000. Your goal was to get 1,000,000. But because you got the 100,000 so fast, you're like, oh, I'm not trying to lose this. So now you're playing not to lose, forgetting that even if you gave away 50,000 and lost it, you still have 5 times as much as you made ever. Mm-hmm. So that's the trap. People tend to get in preservation mode of, I don't want to lose what I got. Problem is, that's okay, because nobody else gets to decide your goal. And so technically, if Jack said he wanted to stay at 1550, I wouldn't have a problem with it. He's happy, I'm happy. That's his goal. Bet. Problem is, he doesn't want. Excuse me. He doesn't want to stay at 1550. He wants to be number one. And so if that's the case, he can't stay comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You get to pick one. You either want the peak or you want to stay where you're at. To get the peak, you got to risk going all the way to the bottom. So you have to be okay with going back down to 1,000 before you can get to number one.
Mm.
And if you're like, nah, I'm not going to 1,000, you're still attached to your points. And if you're still attached to your points, you're not going to the top. Or you can, but it'll take a really long time. Because you'll make a little peak, you'll chill, then you'll incrementally go up a little bit, then you'll chill, then you'll tilt, and you'll try to go back up, and then you'll chill, and then you'll tilt, and then you'll go up a little bit more, then you'll tilt. Instead of just being like, I'm playing, like I'm finna learn and just dive into games, and you're just playing, learning, with zero attachment to your points and your results. Using that investment thing where you're like, y'all are gifting me some losses. I'm trying to win, but if you gift me the L, bet I'm gonna come back way better.
Oh yeah.
So that's the right mentality. And again, there are a lot of people who will be like, oh my God, he just diagnosed my whole life. But this is not my information. Yeah, I didn't make this up. All right. Neither did whoever came up with this. They just observed it, applied the scientific process to it, and then wrote about it. I read it, applied it, and now I'm sharing it with you, what my observations were. So, no reason to be ashamed. We've all done it, literally, every one of us. And so, now that you know better, do better. And so with Ninjak, where he's at that phase. So he's at that part where he's like, okay, playing to win, not playing to not lose. Got you. And so it still may take him some time. Doesn't mean just hearing this changes you overnight. And if you don't do it, you've dishonored your family and you brought shame. No, please. None of that is true. All it means is that you had a habit of thinking losing is bad, and now you're gonna change. And there's still gonna come moments where you think losing is bad. You're gonna feel it. That's how you know what you're thinking, how you feel. And you'll feel horrible, and then from there you go, okay, I'm still gonna grab the next game. And over the next few days,
through it.
Yep. And what did you notice when you were doing that initial, like when the tilt happened and then you knew you had to climb back up? What did you notice? Was it just easy right away and you're just like, whatever? Because you might be one of those anomalies, no. Right?
No, I was nervous as all get out. Like, I do not want to go through that pain again. But I was like, the pain, first of all, was self-inflicted. It's because I lost my mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And second, if I let the pain beat me down, like, now I've lost. But if I just get back up and start climbing again, and even if you still fall, the point is if you keep trying, you it's a practice thing. You kind of learn it, and that's what it is for me. I just, something like this happens, and I go, okay, you know what? It's not a big deal. This is normal. And then the next time, maybe it happens some, and it's like, okay, that's like it doesn't hit you so hard because you're willing to push through things and learn from them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this could this kind of stuff literally could save somebody's life. Like it's crazy how, like, this is the type of stuff you should be learning in first grade. Like this is it's crazy. But we're here now, and at least it gives me some kind of meaning to my life. So I'm more than happy to share it with y'all. And so that's like pretty much your introduction to him. Next time we have these, it'll be far more like application based, more battle. We're battling. But to wrap up, I'd like for you to grab a battle. Are you in the IDM room?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. It's just where I tend to bring people. There's so many people in there now, probably because of that. But yeah, go ahead and find a game and just sort of walk through it in a way. Give them a little taste of what they can expect on your streams and channel.
Oh, yeah.
And if you find one, you might have to invite me. I'm MTV Jam because I don't know if it... Okay, I can get it. Never mind.
Perfect. All right. So, we have got a battle here. I'm going to try to identify what are his biggest threats to me and what are mine to him. First off, that Volcarona looks like it needs to be toxic. Blissey should be able to handle it pretty well, but I would very much... Blissey can handle it if it gets in quickly enough and we get some good pairs, but even still it can be scary if they just start boosting up because all we have is Seismic Toss.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would very much like to toxic that Volcarona. That thing is a threat, and I don't want to give it the opportunity to start setting up for free. 2, man, this guy's got a lot of threats. He's got a Melmetal, a Dragapult. Whew, okay. And they got a Feeny. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not really sure what the defensive core of this team is. This seems like a pretty aggressive team.
Yep.
So, let's see. My Blissey, as long as Blissey's alive, Dragapult, assuming special variant, is not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
But that means I need to keep Blissey pretty healthy. Psyshock on Latios kind of lets it get out of that, but I think a lot of the times they're scarfed. We'll find out. Melmetal, I would say we have Magnezone, but they normally run Earthquake, so we outspeed, so we can get a pretty powerful body press off, I guess, or maybe Thunderbolt's better. I don't know that. So the thing I'm most scared of, most of the special threats, I can go Blissey early. So the thing I think I am most afraid of is that Melmetal, and so I think I want to go Landorus to go ahead and drop its attack, and maybe we can look to... Earthquake's pretty good because that Melmetal's scary. But I don't want to lose Landorus too early. Perfect, okay. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say perfect. Like, that thing's the scariest thing, at least up front. And it can still take a lot of value, but we are Rocky Helmet. Oh, wait, but they run Ice Punch sometimes. So you've already lost damage. I don't think I lose too much by going my own Melmetal because you've already taken that attack drop, and if you do Ice Punch, you're not doing anything.
Yep.
So Melmetal seems like no drawback. Let me evaluate. Earthquake could do a lot, but if I lose Landorus, that Volcarona gets very scary because I no longer have a toxic for it. So this is an important mon for me. I don't have a defense option. I think I want to switch here to Melmetal.
Remember the awareness.
Let's scout, find out.
Remember the awareness piece that you talked about? You actually did the same thing just now. You hard switch instead of U-turning.
Oh, darn.
But no, that's a good example of that.
You're so right. I correctly identified Ice Punch as a threat, ignored U-turn, which would have been free chip. There's no reason not to click that.
Mm-hmm.
So in this circumstance, I would like to Earthquake, but not really, because they have a Landorus and a Latios. I think Double Iron Bash doesn't lose me anything, because you're not going to stay in and Ice Punch again. All right, so they do it back to me.
I agree. That's a good value taken.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Now, Tapu Fini, I know pressures out Landorus. Do I need it for anything? At least Skull does a lot. Do I need it for anything else? Like, is it really important? I don't believe so. I think it's okay if we take a little bit of chip here. Okay, so the U-turn. Okay. We got a lot of value from that. Oh, they just go hard Melmetal.
I wonder if he's banded, because if he's banded, then he was just gonna let you trap with Magnezone. I don't know if that Ice Punch damage is banded after Intimidate. It seems banded though.
Right. Well,
maybe he just doesn't have any awareness of that. But yeah, go ahead.
I don't think you're Earthquaking into Fini, and if you lock into Double Iron Bash, you're not doing any... Oh, wow, he's Earthquaking into Fini. Really? You're just going to let Landorus come in? Okay. That's unfortunate.
You have to remember, like, not everybody knows what you're being taught, so he's just reacting to you. So he's trying to out-predict you, so you have to always consider that when you're playing opponents. and make your best play, because you only lost Magnezone there because you were reacting to him. You're trying to predict him instead of just making your best play, which was not Magnezone.
Yeah, you're right. All right, now this looks like a free Shadow Ball to me.
Which is something
because
you're like, he has no Ghost Resist. You forgot to do what did you have?
Side?
Yeah, what do you have for him?
Let's see. I don't want to get scalded. Depending on his set, Tapu Fini should be able to take it. Moonblast, okay. What do you do here? I'm gonna calm. If you're Moonblast, you might be Scarfed. And if you are Scarfed, I'm gonna Scald. Oh, okay. That was a crit. Wow. You taunted. Interesting. So you're not Scarfed.
See, the leftovers are right there.
Oh, good point. All right, we're gonna go to Blissey here. Okay. Well, I think in this circumstance, I should take everything from that Melmetal, but let's go Landers because I don't want to eat an Earthquake damage. I think that'd be too much value. Yeah, we got that Rocky Helmet.
Yeah, he's banded. That means if you didn't sack Magnezone, you would have trapped him.
So he stayed in there, which means my Melmetal is free, and we can just take some more value.
Yeah, both of y'all are.
Man, if I had that Magnezone, that would have been nice.
It's all good. Mistakes are good.
But he's got nothing for double Iron Bash at this. Oh, okay.
Oh, whew, that does a lot. Well, he's offensive, so that's good. He probably doesn't have Roost. Generally offensive.
That's what I was thinking. Darn.
Well, you sacked your Melmetal.
Shoot. I don't know why, but in my head I was like, I'll go first. But that doesn't make any sense.
It's not over yet.
I should have gone Blissey, but yeah. Still, Shadow Ball is pretty free. Your Fini, I think, might be in 2-hit range. How much did that do last time? 30. Oh, never mind. Oh, now it is.
It might not be.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
but we're chipping away pretty well.
Yeah, technically you could get swept by Shadow Ball, like just straight up. You just have to win the speed tie, whereas Latios wouldn't be Scarf. But you technically, it's still far from over. You always want to still find solutions. So it's that Seismic Toss damage that I'm assuming you went for. Well, you didn't. I
should have.
You're supposed to be weakening him for. Supposed to be weakening him for Dragapult. So I had you Seismic Toss there.
Yeah.
But as I said, you're actually playing a far better than your levels suggest. So you're gonna mess up a lot of these until you get it right. Just how it's supposed to be.
I can't sack Landorus yet.
Why is that?
Well, actually, no. Yes, I can, because then Dragapult comes in, and I think the Fini's definitely getting very close to that range. And this will give me a free Dragapult, because you're going to be way too low now. And that Volcarona is already... Oh, shoot. I'm very low on time. Yeah, I think we can just Shadow Ball here, because you're too low. Fini's your answer.
So this is where that Seismic Toss damage would have mattered a lot.
That would have been huge. Yeah. But we can do it this time.
Hopefully.
Oh, they double. Okay.
I don't think...
Yeah, it's because every time they go Melmetal.
It's 25%. Does Melmetal go over 400 naturally?
400?
Yeah, because Seismic Toss needs to do over 25%.
I see.
Which is...
If he's the same Melmetal as me, he outspeeds, but I don't want to sack... I guess we sack Fini in this case. I'm getting too low on time.
Mm-hmm. So that's...
Okay, but...
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I mean, I can Shadow Ball through things now, because now I know his Fini's too low.
If he goes hard Fini here, that would be a mistake.
Right.
Yeah. But he's also really weak to your Blissey plus Dragapult. So if it's not a Scarf Latios, you technically could just win here. But he's Scarf, because he would never go Latios there.
So let's go Blissey, and hopefully he does not Psy Shock. Yeah, that's the right play, though.
It's not doing a lot. So
I can Thunder Wave.
Why would you Thunder Wave?
No, I should make sure this stays healthy.
Correct.
Let's just stay topped off. Okay. How much is that doing? 37? Okay. Now I can Thunder Wave.
Excellent. So now, well, I don't know why he brought Gyro, unless it's his physical.
Yeah, that's really suspicious.
Unless it's physical, but if it's physical, then you would have needed to Thunder Wave the Latios, but you should never have even left it in that long. But you need to crit Finny and Thunder Wave Latios. So if he's not physical, then you still have a pretty good shot with wishing anyway.
That's what I was.
How he is physical. Yeah. So you need to go land. You need
Dragon
to
Bolt here.
and hope he gets full Baron. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way. Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Nah.
We live another day.
I hope he doesn't get sucker punch. He doesn't have to. Okay, so.
Okay.
So these are ways you're solving the problem, right? Now it looks bad on paper, and this is usually where people panic. But if you understand value, because he has to Draco here, because Psyshock wouldn't kill you. So, it's always Blissey. Like, no matter what. If he tricks, then you can potentially Dragapult. Yeah.
Oh, that was a crit. So what do I... No, we need to stay healthy. I can't afford to be low.
Correct. This is where you learn another lesson, which is you have to go to hard Dragapult on this because you can't have Blissey get too low. You won't die to Earthquake, but now you can KO him back. And this is the only thing he had left to beat Blissey.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is his only Blissey answer.
So, yep, put him on the back foot again.
Bulk.
You see, notice it's 3-3 now. It came from 2 to 6 to 3-3. Now you're going to go back to Blissey.
And I think I'm going to have to Seismic Toss and catch the Landorus. No. Because the problem is I can't take another Earthquake.
Right. And if he's Rocky Helmet, you'll lose it. So you'll have to go for Softball here. Yeah. It's funny if you no, you still need to crit the Finny. You just need to stay healthy. He double Psyshock there predicting your Landers, but even if you your Dragapult, but even if you switched, like he's actually choking potentially. So Psyshock's doing 40. Yeah, you need one more.
I need one more.
Yeah.
And then I can Thunder Wave.
Well, not Thunder Wave. You probably would have doubled to Dragapult. You were trying to catch this. Because if let's say you switch a Dragapult that turn, if he Psyshocked, he 2-hit KOs your Blissey.
Oh, wait. If I had Thunder Waved it and he took out Blissey with his Lando. No, because he would have taken it out. No, if I had Thunder Waved it, I won.
Finny's too high on that.
No, because Finny. Yeah, you're right.
So how you would have won this is by Seismic Tossing the Finny originally.
Yeah.
That damage really mattered, but this is something that when you're going over a game, you go, what did I learn? What did I do well? So that's something you'd be cognizant of, where it's like, okay, I know that Dragapult does around this to Finny. He's probably very specially defensive. It's doing nothing. So he's probably like almost max special defense. Now, and I don't think...
Just Seismic here?
You have to wish first to see how much it does. Yeah. So okay. Now you Seismic. But also... I wouldn't put Thunder Wave on this Blissey. I'd keep it as Toxic. Like, there's no reason for Thunder Wave on this team.
I'll run 2 Toxics.
What do you need Thunder Wave for? Now
I don't know. This was the base team. I just didn't question it.
Yeah, now you Thunder Wave. Good play by him, but it's still the same wish.
I just wish again.
Yeah. I think he's starting to panic though. Seems to be choking. He had no reason to U-turn his Lando out.
I was a little curious about that play.
Yeah, he's starting to choke.
So now I can Seismic. Or do I need a soft boil to get all the way back to full?
I'd soft boil the first turn because if he crits you here, it's pretty bad.
He's just U-turning repeatedly, but what are you gaining out of that?
So now you're in a position where you can Seismic Toss freely and catch his Landers, which he doesn't want. Or his Latios gets to a KO, I think, from here. Close.
I did 33%. I think we need to stay healthy.
100%. So this is the difference between defending and attacking. You're defending right now and switching.
Now I'm out of 2-hit range. I think I can Seismic.
No, you wish.
No. Yeah.
Now you can seismic. He's gonna try to crit you, but that's fine. Because I think the Blissey probably wins on its own. Yeah. You just softball back up to full. You're outside of crit range.
I size. No, we wish.
No, you softball once more.
Right. I have to stay absolutely very healthy. Now I can wish.
Because he has how many seismic? He has 4 side shocks left, so he's almost out of side shocks anyway. So you see how you're using defensive tactics. Yeah, this is perfect. So now you get a free. This game's probably over now for sure, because he went hard lander there.
Holy
cow! I'm only ghosting you here because I wanted to give you that confidence of like when you're in a position like this, you don't just quit. Oh, he's not even helmet yet. This game's guaranteed over.
All right, wish again.
Probably should have killed this, but if he doesn't crit, you're fine. Okay. As long as he doesn't crit, you win.
I didn't even think about opening myself up to that.
Yeah, now you've won because you can't beat Blissey without tricking. So all you have to do here is just click Seismic Toss versus Latios. That way, if he side shocks, you win. But also, if he doesn't, you win. So you just Seismic Toss here. Yeah, because Finny can't beat you. You just need Seismic Toss damage to do what?
All I need is one Seismic Toss and Dragapult Shadow Ball kills.
Correct. So you don't even need to worry about him healing. So people would have softballed there. Right. So Blissey alone beat. You had 2 Pokemon left, and he had
against all 6.
He had 6.
Right.
And so using if you understand value, you'd understand that the game isn't over. But if you're just looking at it from a number standpoint, I've lost, I've screwed it up, and so that's where problem solving comes in, where you're like, okay, Dragapult can KO every member on his team. I know this. Blissey can wall everything but Melmetal. I know this. Now, obviously, you needed the Dragapult to get full power to win, but you're playing to your out, so that's why you use Thunderwave, right?
I mean, you have to play to those.
Right. And so you use 2 Pokemon to beat 6. That's how value. All I was doing was, okay, you're using Blissey, preventing from taking value, and then when you're healthy enough, you take his. And just bit by bit.
Just a slow chip away until he didn't have enough left.
And you literally won with 2 Pokemon, and he couldn't kill either of them.
And I learned that I didn't know Dragon Ball would eat 1 Earthquake, so that's good to know.
Yeah, from defensive lander. Even offensive lander, it probably takes 1. Unless it's like choice banded, then it would die. But those are head calcs that fall under the knowledge pillar, right? And so, yeah, hopefully whoever is watching this and you made it this far, definitely I want to hear in your comments your thoughts on this, because stuff like this is so valuable, so valuable to somebody who's aiming to grow. Like some of the best stuff you're gonna find in Pokemon ever. And so it's like, and I don't say that because it's mine. Like, I've done a lot of work to get y'all this information and a lot of conversations and a lot of data, like stacking and a lot of blah blah. Like I've had people literally make spreadsheets and stuff. So it's like I'm really trying to get to the truth of how to get you guys there as quickly as possible. And so now it shows.
Like you have put a lot of effort into learning how to teach well, and it's not for nothing. Like you can tell the difference.
I appreciate that, because I have. So hopefully you guys can take advantage of this. I know when things are free, people tend to not value them as much, and that's just what it is. But I know if I can reach 1 or 2 people, I'm okay with that. Those 2 people matter. And so hopefully, again, up to this point, guys, go subscribe to Ninja. You can see we started on the 21st, and he's damn near playing like a 1900 level player. His thought process is there. It's just that he doesn't have the practice. And so once he starts getting the reps, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Because I can tell, like, just how you think, you're already on the right track. Like it's just,
thank you.
You're already better than most players on the ladder, but you just need to realize, like, when you see somebody who's 1800, it doesn't mean now that's just that mental thing of like, oh my God, he's probably so good and he's reading my mind, and it's nonsense. Like, they're not that.
Right.
9 times out of 10. So that's what I think. Who is it? Spooky and Storm Zone are learning. I was like, yeah, like, even then, because they're doing well in their tours. And I was saying to them, I'm like, even amongst tour players, like, a lot of those guys don't truly know what they're doing. And so, and I know shade to them if they want to learn, the academy's here. But, there's always more to learn. And the biggest thing you can do is think you know it all. Because then you're stuck.
Yeah.
And so I think with Spooky and Storm Zone are some of the most teachable people I know. And it's no surprise Spooky's been playing since November and he's already beating people in the World Cup. And he's 13 or 14 now, right? Storm Zone been playing for a minute, but now he's really getting into the stride of things where he's starting to get it. And he's crushing everybody in SPL, which is one of the bigger tours in Smogon, if not the biggest team tour, and World Cup, which is one of them too. So, guys, it's up to what you want. So subscribe to Ninjak, get him to 100 or 1,000 subscribers.
Let's get it.
Anything you want to say to the people before we wrap up?
Just appreciate what you guys got here. I don't know if y'all have got that friend that's, maybe better than you, and they try and teach you Pokemon. They just come out with, these wild, you got to do this 14-turn algorithm series to beat it. Nah, what this guy's giving you guys is what you need, and appreciate it. Give him a like. I understand the algorithm likes that a lot now or something. Throw a like on his video. Like, seriously throw a like, because this is so valuable, and that literally costs you nothing, but it benefits him. So give him something for it. He's put a lot of effort into this. Throw some love that way.
I appreciate that. And so, guys, share this with anybody you see struggling. This is really, really important that they understand these things, not just in Mons, but truly offline. And I'm on a mission to... I won't always be this accessible. I think people think, oh, I can PM jam whenever, or these videos will always be there. But there's coming a time where you won't easily be able to get in contact with me. Not because I'm now, this great king, but, my time is just going to be elsewhere. And so I'll still be around, but just like responding to all the PMs that I do like now, or just being in the chat just won't be practical anymore. So, really trying to hammer this home, but it'll come in due time. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.